Oh, hey, you caught me finishing the sequel to Ernest Cline's Ready Player One, Ready Player Two. But that's not what we're gathered here for today. Today, rather, we are here to talk about peer review. I know it's one of your favorite topics. It's one of my favorite topics. So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to back up the camera just for a second, and then I'm going to share a screen with you for one moment. Okay. So remember that this week is peer review week. So you have the option of exchanging drafts with a fellow classmate or requesting yours truly to set up a draft peer review response. Now, some people have reported some technical issues related to accessing peer review. If that's the case, and this is the issue that you find yourself facing, by all means, reach out to me and say, hey, I'm having an issue with peer review. It's not exactly working the way I feel it should. Let me know. And I will, of course, facilitate a copy for you for the purposes of peer review. So what I've shared with you right here is, again, just an example of this week's peer review documentation. And it includes, of course, your name, the title of the essay that you're reviewing, and the name of the peer whose essay you read. Again, I'm asking some basic questions. What seems to be the controlling thesis against which your peer review partner's paper is arguing? What were the claims that the author identified in his or her own argument, and were they logical? Now, if not, could you think of a way the author could improve upon his or her claims? That's maybe the most important question in the entire document. If you're going to spend only a certain amount of time, make sure that you spend the majority on that second question. How effective is the evidence the author uses to support, and does that seem logical? And then at what point did the writer whose paper you're reviewing most interest or convince you of their perspective? Now, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with them wholeheartedly, but they should at least have offered some interesting evidence for you to mull over in your reading of their essay. And then, of course, lastly, does she or he use effective in-text, parenthetical, and works cited page citations, or reference page citations if they're using an APA style? Okay, that's the reminder there. So that means this week, starting May 3rd, so we'll be in session for the entire week, which will be the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and Friday will be the 7th. Isn't that wonderful math that I just did for you? So from the 3rd to the 7th, that's all to be considered peer review week. That will take us into the final week of the semester. So what are we going to do during the final week of the semester? Well, just like every other week, we have something to do, and that task will be revision. But you can begin the revision process anytime you want to this week, as soon as your peer review partner has submitted a response to your paper. Don't forget, also, send me a result of your peer review that you've done for the other student, and send one to them too, so that they have the document and they can use it to guide their efforts next week when we're in revision. So for the rest of the time today, I want to review a couple of things with you. And specifically, I want to spend the majority of my time today queuing up what will be the final exam. Now, we don't really have an exam per se, as we might in one of your other classes, because this is a writing-based course. So you have a final reflection letter. And let's take a look at what I'm asking you to do with that assignment. Okay, this is the grade justification letter. And as you can see, it's weighted about to the same degree that the original self-assessment essay was rated. Okay. So about 7% of your overall grade. Not too hefty of an idea to worry about. And that's by design. We have to have some kind of final session, finals week activity for you. That's per college mandate. So effectively, this is just about it. And I've tried to make it as painless for you all as possible. So the due date, it's got to be in on or before. If you feel like you want to get it done earlier, you can get it done earlier. But at least by Tuesday, May 18th at noon. That's so I have enough time to read them all, process them, grade them, put them into the grade book, and send you some information about your grade estimates. Final grades are due for me on the 20th. So if there's an emergency and you need a little bit more time, don't hesitate to reach out, but try to make it, pretty quick after that 18th due date, because I don't have a whole lot of time to offer you after that. The format's the same that we've used all semester long, so I'm not going to read through all that. You can go ahead and look at that, pause the screen here, and read it if you wish to do so. Plus, this document and all of the explanations that I'm going over here are available for you on Desire to Learn anyhow. So what are we asking you to do here? Pretty easy. The grade justification letter will consist of two main elements. So two things. First, you'll describe how you earned your current grade in the English 103 class so far, along with some reasons why. Then, briefly summarize why you earned the grades you did on the three, it says four, but three main essays. This will be essay number 4. I'll go ahead and edit that real quick. Whoops. On the 3 main essays. And again, just to review, that's the that was, of course, the self-assessment, the analysis essay, and then the argument. If you want to talk about your time spent in the discussion area or the discussion questions, you can certainly do that as well. Or if you want to talk about your peer review activity, that's up for grabs as well. But I'm mostly interested in, again, the self-assessment, analysis, and argument essay. Number 2, for the second paragraph of this letter, I want you to address some of the ideas you brought up in that original self-assessment essay. What are the challenges that you actually faced over the duration of the semester versus the things you thought would be difficult? Were the strategies that you had in mind to approach the challenges that you anticipated effective? Then give just at least a sentence each to these final questions and concerns. What parts of this class were particularly interesting or surprising? And then which parts happened pretty much as you expected them to? I'd be curious to hear about your feedback in that regard. The purpose, again, of this letter or essay is to allow you to see the big picture of the work that you've engaged in all semester long. After this class and after having written this reflection, my hope is that you'll be more ready and able to apply the skills and concepts that you've mastered in the next phase of your academic career, whether that's English 104 or Composition 2, or if you choose to take any other composition or English-based classes here at Kish or in the far-flung future. Okay, so that's a real brief rundown on the grade justification assignment. So that's about it for today. I know it's kind of a short video, but peer review is happening this week. Take the time to create a thoughtful, precise response to the peer review that you have either chosen. Reach out to me if you don't have a peer review partner, so I can set up a peer review session for you. And in the meantime, in between time, be thinking about how you want to respond to some of the questions and concerns that are raised by the grade justification letter. All right. That's it for me for this week. Feel free to reach out, like I said, about with any questions or concerns. And then keep thinking critically, get a lot of sleep, drink your water, and until next time, this is Mr. Fowler signing out.